Boom. Let's try that again. How about it?
Come on, come on. I'm waiting. Let's play some pinball.
Okay, the loop looks awesome.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
How many flippers does this
Sonic
thing have?
Speed. I love this song.
Upper playfield, man, I'm very excited about that. Ball
Chaos
lock.
Emerald multi-ball. Gotta go fast.
Yeah, dude. You gotta have the loop.
Behold,
Okay.
my latest
Eggman.
creation.
That must be a bash toy,
Hey man, you're going down.
right?
Fisting.
Yeah, it is. Sweet.
Got him.
Curse you, Sonic!
Woo, that looks good. That looks really good. Let's see. Let's go to their website. Oh, sorry. Amateur hour over here. Let's see. Jersey Jack Pinball. Wow, they do not have it on their main screen right now. That is a failure. That's a failure. It's not on their main screen when you search Jersey Jack. Oh, I see what happened. No, yeah. You click this. Oh, there it is. Now it's there. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Sweet. Okay, so 2 models? Gotta go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog Pinball by Jersey Jack brings the legendary speed, color, music, and energy of Sonic to life in a fast-flowing pinball adventure built for the fans, or for fans, and players across generations race through iconic zones, battle Dr. Eggman, aka Dr. Robotnik, collect Chaos Emeralds, chase rings, and push towards Sonic speed as the game combines the style of music and larger-than-life energy of Sonic with high-energy pinball action. 3 editions. Great, okay. Collector's, Special Edition, and Arcade Edition. Players can find the version that best fits their budget, collection, and love for Sonic. Each edition delivers its own way to plunge into the Sonic universe and experience the speed of the game. So I think right now, okay, we know it's Steve Ritchie. We wanted Sonic to feel fast, kinetic, and alive. The game is built to keep players locked into pure flow from the first launch to the final ball. The playfield. Okay, the Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine brings zones, boss battles, and adventure to life across a high-speed, constant evolving playfield. Okay, let's check this out. So we got an upper playfield. I am all about that. I actually love upper playfields. This is cool. There's things you can click. Dr. Eggman disappears into his base between battles, staying out of sight until players trigger the next showdown and bring him back into action. That's cool. Right. Keep it spinning. The fast-moving target racks up points and builds momentum with every shot. So it's like a little horseshoe on the upper playfield. Yep. So it's a 4-flipper game. No side flippers anywhere, which is interesting. That's a pretty staple Sonic or Steve Ritchie thing. So this is a little different for him. Not saying that he hasn't, not done that, obviously, but a lot of his games recently have had that upper or that side flipper loop type thing. Led Zeppelin, Star Trek, Getaway, Getaway 2, all that stuff. Okay, here we go. Take him down! Dr. Eggman comes alive in a fully animated bash toy, reacting to every hit as you battle your way through his latest scheme. I love this. That is right up the alley of what Sonic has been in the past. So, that's exciting. Snap into action. Oh, yeah, right, the springs, just like in the game. Spring-loaded targets fire the ball right back at you, adding speed, bounce, and a little chaos to every hit. Cool. Doop. Collect the gold rings, glowing gold micro LED rings. Guide your shots, signal power-ups, and pulse with a bold 16-bit inspired vibe. Okay, at least we're getting that sort of 16-bit vibe in there. I was just hoping that there was going to be some sort of 16-bit action going on here. Hold on, I'm going to take this out of here so I can see the chats. What's up, Mark? Yeah, Black Knight upper playfield type thing. Pretty cool. What do you think so far, Mark? We're going to watch the video again, but I'm walking through every single one of these quick. Let's see. Welcome to the battle zone. Oh, okay, so there's a magnet grab. Whoa, this is lower playfield. Hold on. Yeah, that's lower playfield. So, interesting. Not quite, but still kind of Pokemon vibe, right? With the little 3 targets on each side. Bounce. The ball is going to bounce around in here a lot, and it sounds like there's a magnet underneath there. So, oh, you want to watch the video? Okay, let's watch the video. Here we go. Ready? I haven't figured out yet how to get full screen working properly, because when I go full screen, you can't see the full screen, so I apologize about that. But here we go. You can hear that, right?
Come on, come on! I'm waiting! Let's play some pinball!
Okay. So it's got a loop-to-loop. That was a huge thing for me. But it has to have a loop.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game. Sonic Speed!
Looks like there's a center post.
I love this song.
Got the old school music, which is great.
Chaos Emerald multi-ball.
Yeah, these things are cool.
Gotta go fast.
Oh, dude, I just noticed. Okay, we'll play through the whole thing.
My latest creation.
So this is a bash toy that comes out, which is cool.
Eggman, you're going down.
Fisty.
Got him.
Curse you, Sonic.
Dude, it looks great. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a Sega guy. I'm a Sonic guy. Hey, that's me right there. Ciao, what's up? Okay, a few things to notice, and then we'll go back to the website.
I'm waiting.
First off,
I'm waiting.
is this the first Jersey Jack? Like, Harry Potter didn't have different, or a customized, you know what I'm saying? Shooter rod. Like, Harry Potter's is just a normal one, isn't it? Let's take a look. Whoa, my keyboard is freaking out. I need to get a new keyboard. Jersey Jack Pinball. Okay. Guess we're doing that. I don't remember Harry Potter on the standard edition or Wizard edition having a custom looking shooter rod. Man, this is not a great... Yeah, it's a standard looking shooter rod on Harry Potter. Now the question is, there is 3 models. Here, we're gonna go through the rest of this in a second. There's 3 models. Collectors, which, to be honest with you, man, this is nothing compared to Harry Potter. Like, the only real difference I see is, okay, there's a topper and red legs. Harry Potter, as far as like collector's edition model, blows this thing out of the water. But anyway, special edition, which is funny, you would think special edition would be a better edition than collect. I don't know. The naming scheme for Jersey Jack is still throwing me off, because now we have, again, like Harry Potter, it's not called special edition, it's called Wizard edition. That is the one thing I think that Harry Potter needs to, or Jersey Jack needs to get down, is their naming for each edition, because they got arcade edition and they have a collector's edition. Maybe they're going back to special edition and they just did Wizard edition for Harry Potter, but even as a pinball person, it can be confusing. So this is one thing that if I were to give them any sort of feedback. Let's see, shooter rod, is that custom? Oh, okay. So that will only be on the collector's edition. Got it. Okay. So they're putting their best foot forward is what they're doing. Hold on just a second. Yeah, they're making it look like you're gonna get that custom shooter rod. Oh, Retro Ralph is live too. Okay, everyone's gonna be over there. We all know that. We love Ralph. We love you, Ralph. But we're gonna stay on here. We're gonna keep talking about this for a little bit. Okay, back to the video. So yeah, that will only be on the collector's edition. Shooter rods for me are kind of up in the air of like custom shooter rods. The most important thing to me is how does it feel? Because especially when it comes to getting a skill shot, tournament player, high score chaser, those things are really important to me. So I would rather take a normal looking shooter rod if it means being able to control my shot more. And Mark over here says he could care less. I think you mean you couldn't care less. Or am I thinking the other way around? God, I'm being a jerk right now. Sorry, Mark. Okay, let's keep going here. So this is very important to me. I said if they're gonna do a Sonic game, they better have a loop-de-loop. And there it is, loop-de-loop. So hell yeah, they did it. The only thing I wish, this is nitpicky, but when you, I guess I'm also like the main Sonic fan of that I am is like Sonic 16-bit, where you know you're looking at everything from the side view. I wish, but maybe with gravity and logistics, it's just not possible. I kind of wish that this loop-de-loop, let's show a full picture here. I kind of wish that this loop-de-loop would have been like, you know, going this way where you would see the loop-de-loop just like you do in a 16-bit, and there'd be like a side flipper here. But dude, I get it. I mean, logistically, it probably would take up a lot of space on the play field. This seems to be pretty tucked away. So I get that. But also, there is a part of me that's like, man, I wish they would have done it sideways to visibly see that happen, just like you do in the 16-bit games. But also, like, you know, in the Dreamcast, like, games and beyond, they do have it be like a front view. So it's not a big deal. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, the arcade looks like a good value to me. I would go arcade myself. I would always pretty much go arcade unless if I had like a ton of money. So yeah, loop-de-loop. Got it. I really wanted some sort of 16-bit inclusion, which find it here. Where is it?
Sonic's the name, Speed's my game. Sonic Speed. I love this song.
Where's the video? Where is it?
Chaos Emerald Multi-Ball.
There. This. So this is their 16-bit inclusion. These are all little LEDs, and they make it look like 16-bit style rings. So that was important to me. 16-bit and a loop-to-loop were, I think, the two biggest things that I wanted to see in this game. So hey, 2 for 2 there. The sculpts look great.
Gotta go fast.
This looks awesome. It's an LED topper. That is a part of where I would be like, and it looks like it's not just an LED topper, it also looks like these guys move, I believe. Let's see.
Behold, my latest creation.
Eggman, you're going down.
This day.
Bash toy looks awesome. This is definitely in the same art style of anything that Dr. Robotnik was in. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. They move. Like, that's pretty cool. That makes the collectors more valuable in my mind. Something that I'd want to see. So, cool.
Got him.
Catch you, Sonic.
All right, so let's look through the website a little bit more here. So we were at this one. We clicked on that one. So it's funny. This kind of stuff happens. This is like Star Wars: Fall of the Empire and Beetlejuice. You know, these people are making these same games at the same time, and they're keeping their stuff secret. So I'm sure this will be compared to Pokemon. Like, I'm sure people are already talking about this has the same kind of Pokemon vibe, right? And I think it is considered a battle zone on Pokemon too, isn't it? But yeah, there's a magnet underneath there. There's 3 targets on both sides. The only difference is there's not a bash toy in the middle. But there's a ramp or an exit up the center, just like Pokemon, right? So very interesting how 2 completely different designers created, in a sense, the same thing. Now this is a much tighter part, and it's not completely centered. So yeah, interesting. I will be interested to see how many operators of this game will keep this upper playfield clean. I think this looks awesome. I'm happy to see an upper playfield. I am personally a big fan of upper playfields. I think it's fun. It's cool that there's a center post. Yeah, dude. Okay. In lane drop targets. Let's go. I haven't seen that other than Winchester in a while. Can you guys think of any other games that have modern games that have in-lane drop targets? Well, let's just hope that these work. Because it seems like drop targets on some of the modern games are just not... I don't know. It just seems like they're not... Like they don't want to drop sometimes. Okay, knock them down. This in-lane bank rewards accurate shooting and opens up new paths, modes, and scoring opportunities. So it looks like you can get into a mode up there. From what I saw in the video, it goes up and around here, and then it'll lock there. So very cool. I'm digging that. I love in-lane drop targets. Upper playfield, polycarbonate, upper playfield. Very Black Knight, like you guys said. Although Black Knight Sword of Rage is only a single flipper, so I would be interested to see how long good players can last up here. Now let's see if any of these shots exit. So let's see, zooming in here. Well, we do know that this thing will shoot the ball real fast. Looks like it can exit out of there. I think these all might be exits, right? So it's not like you can just keep hitting stuff up here and it just keep lasting. I think that you'll probably end up, you know, falling out of there sooner. So not fully sure, but what do you guys think on chat? Oh, Pulp Fiction. That's true. That does have in-lane drop targets. And so does Bond 60th, which those drop targets suck. I don't know what is up with the drop targets on Bond 60th, but like you'll hit them and they'll just completely reject. Cool. This is the other thing we were talking about. Loop to loop, hit the loop, a magnet powered. Ooh, hold on. Magnet powered accelerator grabs the ball and slingshots it through a 360 high speed loop, delivering the pure sonic rush with every shot. That is very cool. Where's the magnet? Like, is this whole thing magnetized? That wouldn't make sense, because then it would just hold on to the ball. That's not the magnet right there, is it? It might be right there. Very, very cool. I like that. Casual, what's up? Hype, hype, hype. What do you, have you watched the video yet? If you haven't, I'll play it for you again, but we're going through all of the stuff on this game here. So this loop-to-loop has a magnet, which is very cool. Let's see, what's this? Is that a scoop? No, not a scoop. I haven't seen a scoop on this game at all, which would make sense that you want it to be fast. Scoops tend to slow down. Build the boost. Smash the captive ball again and again to charge your jackpot for hero multi-ball. So it looks like you hit that thing, it locks a ball in, and then if you hit it enough, it will start a multi-ball. That's cool. This is just going to be sculpts. The crew is here. Sonic, Amy, and Dr. Eggman appear as detailed sculpted figures, bringing personality, energy, and story directed into the playfield. No Tails or Knuckles. I would have asked, like, Amy's fine. I would have asked for Tails or Knuckles as a sculpt. So you know people are going to be putting those sculpts in this thing. Yeah, what's this? Gold wire form ramps. Is that for every model is the question. I would imagine probably so, because that could be a lot of extra work making separate ones. Although Harry Potter did that, didn't it? Or are all of them gold? Fast, smooth, and built for flow, gold wire form ramps deliver high-speed transitions with premium style. Sonic looks packed, with the arcade edition continuing from JJP. It seems Stern falls far behind. Now, you do have to keep in mind, you're paying an extra $3,000 for the arcade edition than you are for a Stern Pro. But I hear you. I hear you, man. I hear you. Where are we at? We clicked on... We just clicked on this one. Yeah, gold wire firm ramps. Okay, next one. This is going to be all the emeralds, yeah. This is another big thing. Sonic is all about collecting the Chaos Emeralds, right? Collect all 7, light up the Chaos Emeralds one by one to unlock powerful modes and bring the full force of Sonic's world into play. So it looks like all the modes are going to be emerald-based, which is cool. Hold on, YouTube. I just realized I don't have your chat up. Sorry, guys. Dude, I want to get the Demolition Man, I know. Samuel says, you wish they had magnet for Harry Potter stairs. A lot of times when you hit the Harry Potter stairs, the ball goes back. I don't own a Harry Potter. I wish I did. And I don't play it a lot because, to be honest, a lot of the locations in town decided not to get it, mainly due to political reasons, which... I'm one that tends to separate the art from the artist, especially since the story and the meaning and the purpose of Harry Potter was all about good versus evil and choosing to be a heroic person, and there's so much good in the Harry Potter story. I tend to just separate that. But a lot of places in town were like, nope, we're skipping Harry Potter. So I'm hoping they all go Sonic. Casual said, comparing a Stern Pro to an arcade edition seems APT. What does APT stand for? Arcade edition seems to drown premiums. Okay, that's a good point. You would be comparing a premium to an arcade edition, because that would be the same price. I hear what you're saying. Okay. DJM said, get the Demolition Man. I want to get Demolition Man. Didn't it go down again in price? I think they went down even a little bit more, didn't they? I really would like to get a Demo Man. Never seen that person list stuff, but looks like they had a good amount of games, right? I do want to get that Demolition Man. There's a Demolition Man in, like, isn't it like East Bethel or something like that? Anyway, back to Sonic here. So those are our modes. Let's see what else we got. Burp. Race through the zones. Battle your way across 7 iconic Sonic levels, each packed with a unique shots, speed-driven gameplay, and escalating challenges. So yeah, Green Hill, Chemical Plant. Those are 2 very common. Sky Sanctuary is for sure. I haven't played Sonic in a while, and to be honest, most of the time I didn't get very far through it. Rooftop Run and City Escape do not sound familiar to me. I really wish they would have had... Well, they have Casino Night here. Okay, they do have Casino, but it's not one of the main 7. So this is interesting. You have the same... There is a lot that I'm looking at that you can do in this game that they're going to code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 main modes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 other modes, but then 7 emeralds to get the Chaos Emerald. Whew! That would be quite a run to do all of that in one game. Like, look at all of these inlays, dude. It looks like potentially every time you hit a shot, it might advance to the next one, kind of like Stranger Things potentially. I'm not sure. DJM, I'm making you want to own at least 1 pin other than Baby Pack. Maybe you sell a couple games and hoping... Dude, if you buy a broken one, I'll help you fix it. But I will say, if it's going to be 1 pin, you're going to want a modern pin. Because as fun as older pins are, I love older pins, they can lose their luster faster. You're going to want a pinball machine that has a lot to do in it. Dude, I would like to get Sonic, honestly. This game looks awesome. I think my kids would love it. I'm going to need to play it first. I don't have $10,000 to drop, though. Wirefront Gold is only on the CE edition. Okay, so maybe I have to... Do I have to... No, I don't have to change... You can change it... See, I'm on... Yeah. That's kind of false advertising, then. Because it's showing its... I get it. It's showing its best value. It's putting its best foot forward here of like, all right, we're going to show the fanciest one for like all of the click stuff. Okay, this looks like it's like his other game, Elton John, where you hit the rollover and that's your skill shot. Dynamic gameplay, sync light shows, amplify the speed, energy, and blue blur intensity of Sonic Pinball. Whew. Okay, looks good. We have a few more to click. Up post to catch the ball. Right here. Okay. Take control. Dual up posts. Stop the ball in its tracks, giving you a split second to aim your next move. I wonder how much people will use that. Oh, wait. Dual outpost. Where's the second one? Are you guys seeing the second outpost? Vic VP said you need to play at least 10 times to get the machine. Yeah, I agree. You really need to, like... I mean... this is a pretty safe bet. It's Sonic the Hedgehog, which is a huge IP. It's Steve Ritchie, which is like one of the best game designers in all of pinball. And, you know, Jersey Jack has been really proving themselves these past couple games. Elton John, people love. Harry Potter, apart from your political stance on it, is an incredible game. And, you know, this looks to be like a really, really great game. So I know that people always say, don't purchase before playing. And I still would stand by that too. But I would say this is probably one of the safest bets that you can give in like buying the game without playing it. DJM said like 90s or newer or even newer. So I own a Jurassic Park Lost World as a 90s pin. It had 5 modes in it. Now a lot of other 90s pins tend to have maybe more modes, but the more that you play pinball, obviously the better you're going to get, and you're going to be able to get through more. So I would say get a used. This is. I know we're not talking Sonic right now. DJM over on YouTube. I would say get a used Stern Pro. And out of them, I would say, if you don't play pinball a lot, oof, that's a tough one to decide. Well, part of it is going to come down to theme. What is your favorite theme? Are you a Star Wars guy? Are you a Marvel guy? Are you a music guy? You know, all those things. I would say X-Men is a really great pro. And for some reason, X-Men did not keep its value as much, although I could see the value starting to go up now that the code is getting better and people are starting to like it. But that happens a lot with Stern games. The game comes out, people aren't the biggest fan of the code, the value goes down in the used market, but then the code gets better and then the value goes back up. That happened with Stranger Things. I could see that happening with X-Men. John Wick, I'm seeing people really starting to come around to that game. That game is getting better too. Yeah. You said to DGM, you need to come back Wednesday and Friday for more DT game nights, and Wednesday are usually versus the community like Tekken, other fighting games. Oh, you got come back Wednesday and Friday for more. DT games. I don't know what you're talking about, the beanie. Explain yourself. DJM also said Sonic, old TMNT, Data East, Jurassic Park or something. Yeah, I would say get a used Pro Spike 2. Because Spike 3s are going to be too expensive right now. Unless if like you got the money, then go for it, man. But if you're looking to like drop $4 to $5 grand, you could get actually Stranger Things, I would say, is a really good beginner. Like, I don't say beginner as a derogatory term. I would just say Stranger Things is a pretty great pin to like get yourself into pinball. The shots are right there. The code is very straightforward. You don't have to like memorize a bunch of stuff. Unless if you're the type of guy that's like me, who is like, I want complexity, I want depth, I want to be able to have different options to choose or to go different ways and all that stuff, right? He went on stream and was watching last night. Oh, that's cool. Are you starting to stream, DJM? Okay, we got a few more things to go through on this thing. Let's see what else we got. We clicked on that one, we clicked on that one. Okay, 2 more. These are gonna be the lights. Jersey Jack lighting is very impressive, but also very controversial. Okay, classic style looking spring kickback. Oh, okay. Launches the ball back into action, keeping the speed alive and giving players another chance to stay in the fight. Actually a big fan of that. There is too many games now that don't have a physical kickback. And a big part of it is, I've actually talked to designers about this, and a big part of it is, it's just because they want to take that budget, and they're like, I could, especially, you know, I'm not gonna lie, especially Stern, Jersey Jack is a lot more, they flat out, excuse me, they flat out said, yeah, we're not going to limit something in a game due to budget. Like, if there is something that makes the game better, we're gonna put it in there. But also, Jersey Jack is owned by, I think he's a billionaire. I don't remember. Especially, he's a very wealthy man. I haven't met him myself, but he seems to be a nice guy. Oh, he wants to stream. You were watching. Got it. Okay. But yeah, kickbacks. I just don't see him in modern games that much. The last one I saw was Winchester, and then Elton John has one. Kickbacks are a very Steve Ritchie thing. A lot of his games have physical kickbacks, so happy to see this. I know that this may seem like, yeah, what's the big deal? But like, you don't see kickbacks much anymore. So that's really cool. Dune also has it, but it's actually, they actually shoot a ball, which is even cooler than just a spring kickback, right? All right, last thing. Stay in control. 4 fast, responsive flippers give you the precision you need to keep the ball alive and the combos rolling. Okay, so 4 flipper game. 2 in the upper, 2 in the lower. No center post down below, but there is a center post up top. That's kind of cool. I'm interested about this. So that must be this shot that brings it up and around and then down here to the left. See, the thing is, like, there's only so much you can get out of these by pictures and like a quick little video. So, all right, here we go. Collectors. Here's the big thing, the topper. Mechanical battle topper with Sonic versus Dr. Eggman and a super wide LCD. The LCD looks sick. Animated topper powdered by a super wide, powdered is a weird word, LCD display that reacts to the action. So you're getting a whole nother screen up there with your collectors. So I can you know, I can support that. Let's see, you do get a topper with this special edition, but it looks like it's probably just stationary. Yeah. Which, you know, makes sense. And then arcade, no topper. That's fine by me, honestly. I would go arcade myself. Get some art blades later. I have come around a lot to art blades. I used to be like, man, that's another extra $100 for stickers. But like, once you play a game with art blades, you're like, oh wow, it really brings the whole thing together. And I think, personally, art blades are worth $100. Now that's Stern, I don't know. So far, Jersey Jack hasn't made art blades for their arcade editions that I know of. Harry Potter was the first one, so. Yeah, we all know the back glass from Jersey Jack. It's a giant TV screen. Seems like it displays, let's see if we can get a picture of just the screen. I mean, come on, show us like what's actually going to be on there. Don't show us this. Here's the 2 toppers. We already saw highlights, 7 zones. Okay, so it's just kind of repeating itself. One Sonic universe. This is something that I really appreciate about Jersey Jack is they're like, we don't want to take away any features from the game in all three models. We just want that little extra sizzle, that little extra pop that people want. Your powder coated, armor, your topper, your gold plated wireforms, all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, if you got the extra money, cool. But like, we're not gonna take away the game or any features in the game for the lowest tier. Now keep in mind, the lowest tier is the same cost as a premium, which is the same thing as getting an LE, except the LE just pops more, So you do gotta keep in mind, it is an extra $3,000 for an arcade edition than a Pro Stern. So you would be comparing this to a premium rather than a Pro. What I would like to see them do is there any way that they can strip it down even more to have it be under 10K, but not strip down the actual, I guess there probably isn't, right? Like, it's just gonna be your standard black legs, standard screen. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything that they could take out of there unless if they're actually making two different models, which I could see them never wanting to do. The playfield is the same, correct. How are you doing, Pixelated? Good to see ya. The machines are the same code-wise between the machines. Get an arcade model and wait for the mods. You can start at any of the locations. Yeah. Now, there is another thing, like Jersey Jack is really wanting to get their machines out there on location more. And I have heard from a couple other operators, I've heard both sides. I've heard some operators be like, dude, we bought an arcade, we put it out, and it paid itself, like Harry Potter, it paid itself off like in half a year because, the craze was there, people just were pumping quarters into it, like, it paid itself off very quickly. But also I've heard that there can be issues with the actual maintenance and things working. Now this model does seem to have a lot less moving parts. The only moving parts that I can see are, other than your flippers, is Dr. Eggman. And then a post and shooter rod and stuff like that, but I think that's the only thing. This is actually a very interesting layout. This is not fully symmetrical here. This flipper is up a little higher. And it's... Wait. Yeah. The right flipper is up a little bit higher. And it seems to be at a different angle than that one. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to... a learning curve. But yeah. Same playfield between all three. That's how Jersey Jack has been doing things, and I appreciate that. Now, I know that Retro Ralph mentioned there is a new thing that operators are really going to appreciate. Let's see if they talk about it here. No, I don't think they do. So I don't even know what that is, but yeah. Or maybe it was either Retro Ralph or it was Flippin' Out. One of the two. They said that it's gonna, operators are really gonna appreciate this feature. But I don't see it. I'm not sure if he's still here. Mark, if you're still on. Mark is a guy who routes pinball at a location with a lot of pinball. Do you plan on getting this game for your location? I could see this thing eating quarters, man. Kids, this is gonna be for sure in competition against Pokemon. I think Pokemon obviously is a bigger IP, but this is very kid friendly. So let's watch it one more time. Here we go. Oh, sorry.
Come on, come on! I'm waiting! Let's play some pinball!
That's what I wanted to see. Hold on. Right there. Okay. So it looks like it's a high, quote-unquote, high-scoring game, which is very important to people, apparently. Can't really make out a lot of what's going on here, but it looks like all of your stuff is right there. So.
Sonic's the
Pokemon
name.
vibe
Speed's
right
my
there.
game. Sonic Speed. I love this song. Chaos Emerald multi-ball. Gotta go fast.
They got the theme song,
Behold! My latest creation.
which is huge.
Eggman, you're going down.
This day.
Got him.
Curse you, Sonic!
Yeah, man, it looks great. So it's hey, look at that guy. It's not a glass upper play field. It's like a polycarbonate, which is here. I think it's this one. Nope. This one? Yeah. Transparent upper play field. It's like a plastic. Glass would be a really bad idea for an upper play field. And he's done this same thing with Black Knight Swords of Rage. The ball does play differently on a plastic rather than a wooden surface. So let's look at Black Knight Swords of Rage quick. Premium. Images. Give me that top-down view. So, same deal here. It's actually, this picture makes it even harder to tell. But if you find one of these on location, more than likely you're gonna see a bunch of scuffs. You can totally clean that up with Novus 2. Some people even use Novus 3 because it's got a lot of abrasive in it, and that abrasive tends to help with cleaning plastics. Now, never use Novus 3 on a playfield. You can use Novus 2 on modern pinball machines because of the clear coating, but yeah. DJM says, yes to be me. He had a work call. Sorry he didn't respond. So, anyway, very, very cool. I'm excited. Would I get this over Harry Potter? I don't know yet. If I were in the market. I'm not in the market currently. But, yeah, this is sick, man. This looks awesome. I don't know if I would want this over Harry Potter or not. I have to play it. I really want a Harry Potter. It seems like Eric, the designer, really did his research, and he is a die-hard Harry Potter fan. And it felt like that game was like a love letter to that universe. But yeah, this looks great. This looks... I'm not the biggest fan of this era of art style, but this is the modern Sonic art. Is there a big part of me that wished the whole thing was 16-bit? Yeah, but I think that would have been a lot harder to make it attractive to kids, which as an operator, you want a game that the kids want to put money in. I'm actually going to go today to Heavy Rotation, my newest location, and check But it seems like Jurassic Park, the Lost World, it's 50 cents, but it seems like that game has been the most popular because there's like a dinosaur in an egg, and all the kids want to do is get that dinosaur to pop out of the egg, you know? And so you need something like that in a pinball machine that gets the kids, you know. That's a big reason why Stranger Things, which is the other one that's on location there, so I'm going to check and see which one's doing better. It's a big reason why you want to have that moment in a pinball machine, because you want the casual players who tends to help fund paying this machine off. You want them to enjoy the game, and code is a lot more important to players that do like tournaments or are wanting to fully get through the game. So, you know, that's the reason why, like, X-Men that we have at home right now, the premium, the head actually comes up. Me as a player and someone just trying to get through the code, I actually don't care about that. But I'm also, I'm fully aware that I am someone who is not the casual, like, I'm going to pump a bunch of quarters in this machine because it does this thing. Like, I will do that on a new game because I want to experience it for the first time. But then after I've experienced it like 15, 20 times, I'm like, cool, that's really cool. I mean, every time I still play Turtles, I love the little pizza spinning with the ball magnetized on it and it's spinning. Like, that is one thing that, you know, the gimmick, I guess you could say, that they've put in that game that I still, as a somewhat intermediate player, I still love it. Like, every time it happens, I love it. So that's a hard thing to do in designing pinball, is like, how do you make something that makes everyone happy when it comes to like mechanics, a mechanical thing? Because a lot of people, even with Godzilla is one of the most, you know, prized, treasured games out there. A lot of people who have played Godzilla a lot are like, okay, cool, waiting for the balls to drop from the, you know, building on the premium, because you've seen it a million times. Like, it's still stinking awesome, man. Like, it's super cool. But we get I think I forget at times, like, how much work goes into making something like this happen. And so what I'm trying to work on in, like, being involved in pinball for now 2 years is, like, just the wonder again of, like, wow, the fact that somebody was able to make that happen is incredible. Like, that's really cool. So, let's see. Kimbo Rice says, looks awesome. 100% agree on needing more 16-bit though. I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of 16-bit mode that happens where you see it on the back glass, and you know, we're getting it with the little LEDs for the rings, which I think is really cool. Now we're in this interesting spot in pinball where, like, I'm 37, right? And my generation is just now getting into the age where you might have a little bit more freedom with your money to just, like, purchase a $10,000 machine. So you got to cater to those people, right? It's not necessarily the dad rock people anymore. Now, there still are a ton of people, and I don't say that in a derogatory way either, but there are still a lot of people that, like, you know, they want their dad rock pinball machines, because those for a very long time were the people buying pinball machines. But now it's like there's a whole new generation getting into pinball, and people are needing, you know, these designers and these manufacturers are needing to figure out, how do we scratch that itch for this next group of people? And I think this is doing it. I think this is definitely going to get kids into pinball. And I think that the art on it is not something that I am like, ugh, gross, I hate this, you know? Even though This is not my Sonic era. This is like Wii, PlayStation 2, and beyond Sonic. This is Sonic Generations, which Sonic Generations, if you know that video game, was very popular because it had both the new Sonic and the old Sonic in it. So if they can find a way to get more older Sonic in this in a code or some mode where they even like have the old school Sonic in this game, that would be pretty damn cool. But yeah, Major Drains on, what's up? Said hoping for a sick loop ramp. Looks like the good answer to Pokemon though. Yeah, no, there is a loop ramp. That was like, for me personally, I was like, if they do not have a loop, like, that's a huge miss. So, I was saying earlier on stream though, the only thing that I kind of wish they would have done, actually not kind of, I really wish, just this, again, this is like my 16-bit brain. That should be the name of a band. Oh, I just realized you're not hitting this thing. Whoa, okay. You're not hitting this thing this way at all. You're hitting it the other way because this shoots it back onto the playfield. There's a gap there. I didn't realize that. I thought that you were able to hit that thing from here, but you're not. There's a shot underneath it. And it's, if people didn't catch this, it's a magnet-powered accelerator that grabs the ball and slingshots it through the 360. So it's nothing to do with flippers that is hitting it through that loop at all. It's a plunge ramp. I don't know exactly how it's happening, but it looks like it comes from here instead and goes through that loop. The only thing that I was gonna say is I understand a loop can take up a lot of the playfield, and so, you know, it might not be the best, but I was hoping for a loop ramp, because I mean, man, who remembers the first time they played Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis and being able to do like a loop, especially on Sonic 2 and 3, where you stop, you charge yourself up and then shoot yourself through the loop. And you're viewing it from a 2D view. I was hoping for like a loop like that, where it would maybe be this way. But this is still super cool, and I'm happy that it's even in there, right? So, remind you casual in 20 years when you complain about the new Bluey pinball machine. Millennials deserve pinball machines too, that's right. Man, if there are any other millennials in the chat, tell me what pinball themes you haven't seen yet that you would like to see that are a part of like your generation. Now, I keep saying Homestar Runner. I know that that's not gonna be a marketable machine that people are gonna buy. Like, but man, Homestar Runner pinball machine would be glorious. I would love that. That's a huge part of your childhood with your dad. Sad that it's not based on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, I mean, dude, I get it. I'm guessing this has a lot to do with Sega and how they want to be marketing themselves right now. And they're probably like, no, this is our Sonic now. This is what Sonic looks like now. And so I'm sure, and I have no connections with Sega. I have no connections. Actually, I do have a connection with Jersey Jack. But I have not heard from Jersey Jack anything about like, oh yeah, we wanted to do this and Sega did this. But my guess is, for licensing purposes, you know, they're probably like, this is our Sonic, right? And that's kind of what I've heard happened with The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is in a very different place now than it was, you know, when it was at its heyday, which is why the pinball machine at its time was a lot more dark and gritty looking. And apparently The Walking Dead now, which a lot of what you see in Walking Dead is like slot machines and pachinko machines and phone apps. And apparently that's a lot of the same art style, is that like green, red, yellow, blue. Like, I did not understand, and I actually texted all my friends being like, this looks like Foo Fighters as far as like color goes. Now the playfield obviously and the layout of The Walking Dead is completely different, but I was like, what are they doing with this art style? But apparently, you know, it all came down to AMC or whoever owns the license now being like, no, this is our Walking Dead now. This is how we market Walking Dead now. This is our fan base. This is what they know, right? So like, as much as I would love them to do a 16-bit style, and I think a lot of other millennials would like that, the reality is that is not Sega's Sonic anymore. Even to the point where when a new Sonic 16-bit style came out, it originally was made, not the same exact game, but Christian Whitehead made a Sonic the Hedgehog 16-bit, and like people loved it, right? And it eventually gathered enough attention to Sega for them to be like, oh, maybe we should make another 16-bit Sonic, and it sold well. But still, that is not their Sonic anymore. This is their Sonic. So I get it. Oh, Grown Up Adjacent with the raid. What's up, dude? We're talking Sonic the Hedgehog. In the chat, let me know if you guys have not watched the video yet. And if you haven't, we'll watch it right now together. Mortal Kombat Pinball, NBA Jam Pinball, Goosebumps, Power Rangers, Lisa Frank, Tamagotchi, McDonald's, Dragon Ball Z. You already want to see the next Pokemon Pinball Machine Casual said, give you gym badges. I think that they might, in newer code, hopefully, God, hopefully include gym badges. XP Evolving, I hear, is coming to Pokemon. I don't know if save levels ever will. Star Wars can have 12 machines, Pokemon can have at least 3. That's a good point, man. I could see them doing like, you know, a Pokemon pinball like they did, and then maybe 3 or 4 years from now doing like just how Pokemon had Pokemon Blue and Gold and Red and Silver, and then they did Crystal, and then they did Pearl, and you know, man, they have so many models of a Pokemon game. I mean, it would be foolish for them to not down the road make another next step of Pokemon, but we'll see what happens. So WWE pinball, you want a new WWE pinball? That's cool. RB Wings, Voltron, and G.I. Joe. I've heard G.I. Joe is being held by, I've heard Barrels of Fun, but I've also heard that there are 2 different licenses out there of G.I. Joe. There's out of the States and in the States. And apparently there is a license for in the States, and then there's a license for out of the States. And they're 2 different companies potentially, and the other one is potentially Stern. So, dude, I don't know. I don't have that depth of it, but Doc said, saw the video, liked the character, loved the game so far. Yeah, I am excited about it. I think it looks good. Bill Clinton pinball speech. No, I'm not going there. We're not going any further with that. Sorry, we have chats on YouTube and Twitch right now, so yeah. I mean, man, there's a lot in this game I'm excited about. I think that it's going to be good. It's funny that they chose Hero, because I was just playing Spider-Man Pinball on Sunday, and you spell Hero on the in lanes and out lanes. So very interesting that they chose the same thing. Obviously, they weren't thinking. Although Spider-Man is also a Steve Ritchie game, which is interesting. So let's see. Oh yeah, a friend of mine texted and said, check this out. It's pretty cool actually. Sonic, so on the collector's edition here, he actually gets a speed blur. So this thing moves. These guys move. And Sonic gets a speed blur from the LCD in the back. So this is the biggest LCD screen outside of the pinball machine that I have seen on a pinball machine. I can't think of any other machine that might have a bigger LCD. So this topper is pretty cool, and they could do a lot with an LCD in there. They could, you know, do a bunch of different themes and stuff. So He-Man Pinball. Now I've heard that somebody apparently I think it was American Pinball had Masters of the Universe, but apparently they like shit the bed with that. That's what I heard. A lot of people talk about Pee Wee Herman Pinball. They want a Pee Wee Herman Pinball. Yeah, that would be a wacky choice. Let's see. Tommy, game looks amazing. Called that there will be a loop at the plunge. Oh, is it at the plunge that happens? Hold on. I didn't think it was at the plunge, but that makes a lot of sense that they would do that. Ah, you're right. Okay, so it's once you... No, because that's the opposite way. Because it goes this way. Here, we're gonna go back and watch the video one more time here. Hold on. The ball shoots back at the player. Okay.
Come on. I'm waiting. Let's play some pinball. Let's play some pinball.
Okay. Yeah, so it's coming the other way. So I don't think it's off the plunge. Wait a minute.
Pinball.
We could play this in slow-mo. Hold on. I'm gonna have to turn the volume off though, or it's gonna sound really funny. Playback speed. Doop. 0.25. Here we go. Up and around. Okay, so here it comes. Wow, that's so fast. So there's a magnet in there, is what it says, that accelerates it and makes it go really fast. Yeah, so either it must be, if it is off the plunge, it must be you shoot it, it goes up, and then it comes back down and shoots around, right? The ball shoots back at the player. Okay, got it. Sly, for the first time chat, said Call of Duty, Naruto. There is a Game of Thrones, so you want to see an updated Game of Thrones. One Piece, a lot of people talk about One Piece. Eminem would be cool. That would probably be one of the biggest rap. We need a rap pinball machine. We really do. Yu-Gi-Oh!, Nightmare Before Christmas, Cars, Die Hard would be we need a Die Hard pinball. League of Legends. We do have a Toy Story 4 pinball machine, which is an interesting licensing thing. And Need for Speed. The right ramp has a magnet that accelerates the ball back into the loop. Let's be honest, Casual said. We all want a Lord of the Rings remastered. Okay, let's talk about that for a second, guys. I was at Stern for the Transformers Media Day. I saw George Gomez and I was like, hey, I am saving up for a Lord of the Rings because I think it is the best fan layout pinball machine, and that game just rules. And I was like, should I wait? I was trying to be like somewhat discreet because I know he can't just you know, go right out there and tell me. But I was just like, should I wait or should I just buy it? And he straight up was like, if it ever happens, it will be a really long time before a Lord of the Rings remastered happens. And you want to know why? It's because the licensing has been split and is just like owned by a couple of different companies now, and Amazon being one of them. So I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Do not expect to see a Lord of the Rings remastered anytime soon, if it ever happens. That game, if they made it, the LE would sell out like that. I mean, we all know that. And I think that it would sell extremely well. It would be, out of any remastered, I think, the most highest grossing remastered pinball machine. That's just my take. Trying to keep up on chat here. Over on YouTube, we got... You took a U-turn into the tunnel. Yeah, yep. So Sonic the Pinball has 3 different models. DJM over on YouTube is wondering. So there's 3 models. Arcade Edition, from my understanding, that's 10 grand. Special Edition, I think, is 12, and then Collector's is typically 15, but we can go to... Yep, 15. 15, wow, this is not fun. Do I have to go here? Does that move it? Oh, I see. This is only an advertisement for collectors. So if I click on this, where does it... Okay, it goes to their website. 15, 12. I might have to go full screen here. Yeah. And then 10. Yeah, 15, 12, and 10. Personally, myself, if I had the money, I would buy the Arcade Edition and then spend $2,000 if I wanted, or $5,000 and buy a Pro and put it on location to make more money back. Craig says, what's the rumor for the next remaster? The rumor, the last we heard, was AC/DC, but then other people are saying it actually isn't going to be an AC/DC remaster. It's going to be a completely different AC/DC. Like, it's still going to be AC/DC, but it's going to be a completely different game. But then other people are saying Kiss remaster. Those are the 2 biggest rumors right now for Stern's remaster at the end of the year. In the comments, anyone else know of any other remasters rumors? I think the other one was Tron, but I think that has kind of been put to bed for now, last I heard. Let's see. We got lots of chat over here on Twitch, so let me catch up here. NWA pinball would be cool. Looks like it feeds to the right orbit to right 360 loop. Okay, yep. Sorry, from left orbit. We do need a wrap pinball, you're right. Yeah, from right ramp. Yep, not left ramp. Lord of the Rings is such a sick target for a remaster. The game is fire. The game is scarce. And with an LCD plus assets, it would be amazing. I agree. New Lord of the Rings would be when there is a new Lord of the Rings movie, and it would be the new movie. Oh, so you're saying that they would get the licensing for whatever new Lord of the Rings thing comes out. It would not be the same Lord of the Rings as what came out in, like, what was that, 2004 or 5, something like that. I desperately want a Lord of the Rings pinball with a colored DMD. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Tron and Lord of the Rings Remastered would sell like hotcakes. I think that Lord of the Rings would sell way more than Tron. There's a lot more Lord of the Rings fans, but I definitely think that Tron would sell. Time to play the lottery to get this game. Yeah, they're expensive, man. Yeah, and AC/DC is supposed to be a Borg rumor. See, as an operator, I would say it's probably, well, I don't know. I mean, at the same time, in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area, there are not a lot of Harry Potters on location. So it might still be like, yeah, put it on location and you'll get some good money back on it. But long term, I think that for sure it's this weird, like, I'm not in the spot right now of like, I've only been operating for like a year. I got into pinball 2 years ago. I've probably been operating for about a year. I did arcades, but that's a totally different world, and that is all old games that didn't make nearly as much money. Pinball definitely makes a lot more money back, but it is also a lot more expensive to buy, right? So I would get a Sonic arcade, and I would put it on location, probably at heavy rotation. But I also partner with Compulsive Pinball, which is really wonderful. That's the reason why I have an X-Men at home right now. Actually, I just talked to Compulsive, and they're bringing 10 more games to the Twin Cities. I have the list here. So there is going to be another game at home for streaming, and I'm going to be building a streaming rig. So we can each day not have just X-Men every day, but we can have a bunch of different games to show you guys. Let's see. Batman 66. Stranger Things ×2 for 2 different locations. King Kong, Venom, John Wick, Rush, Metallica, older DMD, and a Ghostbusters, Star Wars 2017. So those are all the other games that are going to be coming, I think, like next week. So get ready for some John Wick at home, and yeah, potentially a couple other games for streaming. So yeah, 100 grand for pinball is wild, I know. Dude, there are a lot of people that will get the CE. Now, I will say I think the Harry Potter CE looks way better for the money. Although that topper, I'm not a topper guy, but that topper on Sonic looks sick. But just look at this, right? And then look at, oh, where is it? That, right? Look at that. And then look at that. Say if you were just as big of a fan of both Sonic and Harry Potter, and say you were a big fan of, you know, the 16-bit era all the way up to the modern games of Sonic, and then you're a big fan of both the movies and the books, right? To try to make it as even as possible between the two. I mean, dude, there is no comparison of how much more appealing this thing looks compared to that. I'm not saying that this doesn't look good, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like this, I've been told that they have sold so many of these, is it CE? This is the other thing that collector's edition. This is the other thing we were talking about, is like Jersey Jack does need to like figure out their naming scheme or whatever between models, because you go here and they decided to make one called the Wizard Edition instead of Special Edition, right? And then Sonic, they went back to Special Edition, but then let's do Avatar here, which was the one before it. I actually forgot that Avatar came out. I was thinking that it was Elton John was the one before it, but I was wrong. They only made a collector's and a limited edition, right? So the naming is all over the map, and they need to figure this out. They need to just have 3 models like they're doing and have them always be titled Collector's Edition, Special Edition, Arcade Edition, or something like that. Let's see. Yeah. Collector's Edition, Platinum Edition. Like, every single model so far has had, you know, they started the Arcade Edition with Harry Potter, which I'm glad they did. But then, yeah, we're back to limited edition for The Godfather. And then we're going to go Toy Story 4. Let's see what they say. And now they're back to, okay, collector and limited. So they had that going for a while, like limited edition and collector edition. Now, as someone, imagine you're just getting into pinball and you hear limited edition and you hear collector edition. Which one in your mind sounds more premium? In my mind, I hear the word limited and I go, oh, there's not as many of those as like a collector, but also like, I don't know, collector kind of sounds special, right? And then they even had models that were special edition. I'm sorry. If anyone from Jersey Jack is watching right now, I think you guys make great stuff. But I will say this naming, it needs to be figured out, because in the pinball community, it's really confusing. And I don't know if anyone else agrees in the chat, but it's confusing. So that needs to be figured out. Keep the arcade edition, keep the collector edition, and then I don't know, like what you would call the middle one. Maybe limited, but then I feel like that also gets confusing because limited sounds more premium than collector in my mind. I don't know. Let's see, back to the chat here. Van Halen Pinball. Now, since Eddie is gone, easier to get the license. JBS was saying that Van Halen Pinball will never happen. He actually reached out. He got connected somehow to go to one show, and he asked them, and they're like, never gonna happen. There's too many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to that. Fallout is supposed to happen this year, Craigs. That is the rumor for the next Stern game. Yes. Let's see, what else you said? That's absurd. You can buy a car for that, and I'm sorry if you guys would strike pinball machine purchases instead of that. They realize that's insane. And you know, dude, to each their own. Everyone can spend their money however they want. I would say personally, I'm gonna buy a machine and then I'm gonna put it on location to help pay it off. And then once it's paid off, it's mine. And yes, it's gonna be a little bit more beaten up, but then you start, I mean, it's just, the way that I look at it is, if you've ever played the original, like, real-time strategy Warcraft, or Warcraft 2 or 3, and I'm not talking World of Warcraft, I'm talking like Warcraft or Starcraft or Command and Conquer. What is the first thing you do in that game for the most part? You start an economy to be able to build resources, to be able to buy more things, to then be able to get more money, to then be able to buy more things that are more expensive. And then it's just this snowball effect. And that's the way I'm approaching pinball. Like, I'm buying a machine, and yeah, I'd love to just have it at home, but I'm putting it on location to be able to get more money back, to then be able to buy more machines. And then now I have 2 machines on location, and now I'm making hopefully 2 times the money than 1 machine. And then that can continue to keep, you know, building itself. And of course there's this economy of like, well, the new machine's gonna make a lot more money, so you should buy the new machine right away. I'm not in that spot on the real-time strategy yet where I can purchase the brand new thing. But thankfully I am sponsored by Compulsive Pinball, where we can get the new stuff out, but that is not benefiting me financially. You know, that goes to them because it's their machines. I get it, you know, it's fair. So when you play pinball today, when am I gonna play? We'll play right after this. You want more hard bodies. Yes, I do have to pay taxes. I understand. I am paying taxes, yes. But still, it's worth it for me. StarCraft Pinball would be cool. Back over to Twitch here. We got a lot of chats going through. You said ST. You just sent Stern a message about center ramp not flush when up. Ever run into that? No, I haven't. I own a Stranger Things Solid. I've never had that issue. But here's one thing that, as an operator, that I did for my Stranger Things. So the code has it set where the ramp is down, and then when the game starts, it goes up. And then once you hit enough drop targets, it goes back down again. Or sorry, it's not just drop targets. Then you have to shoot it through the center. And I, in my mind, went, well, I'm going to be operating this machine, and that is the part of the machine that's moving the most. You can choose to have the ramp start up, which I think twofold is a good idea. One, as an operator or just a pinball owner, that ramp is moving half of the amount, so it's going to last 2 times longer in a sense. 2, it gives a better pinball moment for the player, because a lot of people, the first time they've played it, don't realize that there's a Demogorgon behind that ramp. And so all of a sudden you hit those drop targets and you shoot it up the center, the lights start flashing, the ramp comes down, and you see a Demogorgon, and you're like, whoa, that's cool. And then you hit the Demogorgon and hopefully get it in its mouth. So twofold, like any moving part that is not a necessary thing for the game to operate from the beginning, I will turn off until it's needed for the game, because it's going to last longer, and I think in my mind it creates a better moment for the player. So, but yeah, get a hold of Stern. They're usually pretty great at helping you with that kind of stuff. Way more worth the price. Elton John looks better. Elton John is one of the best looking pinball machines. Harry Potter CE is a work of art, no comparison. Literally, they hired the people for the CE, which is the highest model. They hired the people that did the art for the special books that came out. So yes, Harry Potter looks way better. Harry Potter topper is, I agree. Sonic has a better topper than Harry Potter. The Harry Potter toppers aren't that great. Harry Potter, they went overboard and now they went under. You don't like the flimsy plastics as a topper. I agree. You feel lime if you name it Arcade or shouldn't be Arcade Edition. Oh, you feel fine if they name it Arcade or shouldn't be. Okay. Arcade doesn't sound good. Now, as an operator, I think Arcade sounds great, because then I know, oh, that's the model I want to get for the arcade. Personally. But, tell me why you feel otherwise. They did that to confuse Stern buyers, since LE is their best and it's the only mid-tier at JJP. That's funny. You would call the bottom tier Home Edition sounds nicer. Okay. Yeah. Although Home Edition makes it sound cheaper, because Stern has a Home Edition, right? So they would literally have to change the... Jersey Jack does have a little bit of an uphill battle of like... Stern's been at this game for a long time. So how much do they need to play to Stern's rules? And how much do they need to go, no, we're going to do our own thing, and people are going to have to figure it out. They did that to... Yeah, sorry, I read that. You mean they have like 8,000 plays if this is a $2 game? Yeah, it happens, man. You'd be surprised. I talked to the people at Interium, which is, they, are a very premium location right in, the Chicago suburb area where tons of people go. And apparently their Harry Potter arcade, they paid off in like 6 months. So imagine at $1 a game, it got played 10,000 times in 6 months. I have a friend who routes pinball in Winona, Minnesota, and they bought a Pokemon Pro, $7,000, and they said in the first month and a half they've made $1,000, or no, 1,500 back. So that's roughly $1,000 that they're making on that machine alone. So there is, as an operator, like I was kind of in this mindset of like, I'm going to buy the cheaper machines to be able to help get some income going and pay those off quicker, which actually I'm listening through a podcast right now. If you've never listened to Wedgehead podcast, it's a really good podcast. They're talking about the economics of pinball operating. And, there is definitely, if you're starting off, like get it, $1,000 to $2,000 machine. That's way less plays that it needs to pay off. But also, if you have, I've noted, sorry, let me back up. So case in point, I bought a police force for $1,700. I put it on location at the American Legion. It's the first pinball that I put there. In the first month, it made $100 on 50 cents a game, which means 200 plays were done in a month. I actually made like 130, so 260 plays in a month. The moment I started putting other games there, like Stranger Things or Jurassic Park: The Lost World or Foo Fighters, the police force started making way less. Now, of course, the first time you put something new on location, that's a lot of times when the most amount of money is going to be made back on that machine, which is why operators go, I need to get my Pokemon as soon as I can. Get it to me right away. I want to be the first place in town that has that machine, because you've got 200 people, who are pinball people or so, if you're in a big city, who like are that invested in pinball, but they're not gonna buy one themselves, right? I know a lot of people that are like, I never want to own a pinball machine because I don't want to deal with the maintenance, I don't want to spend that much money, and I don't ever want to operate to be able to help pay it off. So there are people like me who are like, oh, well, I will take that burden on, that's fine. And so it's kind of almost like crowdfunding to go, okay, I'm gonna spend $7,000 and I'm almost putting out a bet of like, how soon can this thing pay itself back off, right? Now, I've always paid cash for my machines, and I've always bought used, but I've only been in this for 2 years. I really wish I could have gotten Pokemon like day one, but financially wasn't in the place for that. So there's a lot that goes into the economics of pinball, and I am starting to see more and more like, yeah, the newest machine definitely will make the most money. But then on top of that, there's a guy in town, well, not quite in town, he's Minneapolis, but he has a big operation, and I like really respect this guy. He does 5-6 Brewing and Elm Creek Brewery just down the road from me, and Broken Clock and a couple other locations. And he bought an X-Men. He had it on location 6 to 8 months. It had about 6,500 plays on it. Now, $1 a play, that means, and it was a Pro that he bought. He's got like about $500. Now let's say 500 of those plays were free play. Okay, so 6,000 plays on it. He's got about 1,000 plays left on it to pay that thing off. But then it started making less, and the next machine came out. So he sold that machine for $5,200, right? So now he's made $4,200 off of a machine that he bought for $7,000, because he was able to get it, more and more money back off of it. And then once it got to the point where people were playing it less, because he wasn't running an arcade, he was running a route, he was like, yeah, time to sell it. Somebody else can get it at a discounted rate. They're happy because they don't have to pay full price for it. And now they're able to buy, the next thing that they want to buy. And he's bought 3 Pokemon because of how insane people are about playing that machine. And like the code isn't even anywhere where it needs to be yet. So you can still get on Pokemon as an operator and like definitely be making good money on it. So, all right, back to chat here. You're getting a Vectrix multi-cart. Very cool. Very good idea. Minus taxes, probably made 2.5K. Are you talking about on Vectrix? Made 2.5K? Or are you talking about off of X-Men? Let's see. Arcades doesn't sound good. We read that. They did that to confuse Stern buyers. We read that. 8,000 plays, $2. Oh, here we are. A lot of games don't make it 8K plays without issues. Another good point as an operator, right? Which is why operators love pros. X-Men right in front of me. There are no moving parts on this thing other than pop bumpers and flippers. Sentinel head doesn't go up and down. There is no hand that breaks the wire form. There is no hand that, you know, flips the ball back on the left. Like, this is an operator's dream because there's like no moving parts. So anytime there's a moving part, you have a much higher percentage of something breaking, right? You know, you also got to think about rubbers that are going to break. Now, that's not expensive to replace a rubber, but you do have to deal with the fact that that machine might be down for a day because you might not know. Like, as an operator, you're not always there. You're not running an arcade. You are running a route where you have 5 machines here, 2 machines there, 3 machines here, whatever kind of a thing, right? So, but yes, you always have to keep in mind, like, breakable things. So, how much money got dumped into maintain that Harry Potter? That's the thing I've heard, is that Harry Potter, the staircase can have issues. If I got a Harry Potter, I would just buy it for my own, you know, joy at home. And that would be something that I would save up for and just enjoy it at home. You know, my family loves Harry Potter, so that's what I would do. But going back to Sonic here, if we're looking at this, the only moving part that I see in this is, excuse me, Dr. Robotnik that moves around, and then your flippers. There's no other, I don't even think there's a pop bumper on this thing. Yeah. Oh, and then I guess your coils that, for your in-lane drop targets. And then, you know, the rod that pops up to catch the ball. So, but this actually looks like a much safer bet for operating than Harry Potter in my mind. Old school would never make as much unless it's the tournament classics. Yes, so like old school games like Addams Family always makes money. I can't tell you how many times people ask me to get, like, I just landed a new location at Heavy Rotation Brewing. Within the day, I had people asking me to put Addams Family there. And the thing is people don't realize Addams Family is like a $8,000 to $10,000 machine. And it's how old? I'm going to spend $8,000 to $10,000 on a Sonic or a Pokemon, or like if I'm going to spend that kind of money. No, I'm not going to do that. But like, if I was, I'm not going to buy an Addams Family. I know that everyone wants an Addams Family, but I don't think Addams Family is that great of a game. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Pokemon is losing value every day. They don't have achievements. Yeah, but also I will say that's not Stern's fault. They won't say it because they got to keep a good reputation, which I totally get. But apparently Pokemon, they have a US division, they have a Japanese division. It has to get approved by both of them. There's a whole thing going on there, and yeah. DJM. Am I gonna get an Addams Family soon? The only reason why I would buy an Addams Family is to route it. And now maybe I need more time on Addams Family. I think it is fun to shoot, but like code-wise, there's not a lot there, dude. You think the loop's gonna be an issue because of the magnet? What's up, Dr. Doobie? People come over and think they love Addams Family until they play it. Then they play Jaws and how Addams Family drains. Yeah, and there's like no ball save on Addams Family either. Addams Family is definitely a product of its time. Sold the most amount ever. People still do love it, but there are much better games that you can buy at that price. Much better games. Games that have Insider Connect that are going to keep people coming back. Like if you're thinking about routing. Scared Stiff and Twilight Zone is number 1. I would get either of those over Addams Family any day. Let's see. We are all caught up on chat. Do you guys want to see a little bit of streaming some X-Men? I mainly just hopped on here to talk Sonic. But if you want me to play some X-Men, I will. Let's make sure we've covered everything. I'd love to see if they have like actual like gameplay. This is what I want. This is one major miss that I'm seeing when games get released. They don't have a pre-recorded, like, get a really high-end player who like can knock the shit out of that game and show off everything that you can do in the game. Like, this is cool. This does show a lot of the game, but like currently there is no video of like gameplay. And that is something they could absolutely have prepared when it comes to releasing the game. But I do not, let me look through and make sure there isn't anything. Hold on. First look, hey, he's talking about Sonic. Flipping Out did a first look. Okay, so I hope they don't mind me sharing. I'm sure they're fine. Like, I'm giving them attention here. Oh, we're in 2.5. Oops. Or 0.25. Let's see if they do any gameplay here.
At luxury toy maker Jersey Jack to check out the most anticipated release in all of physical gaming. Let's go take a look.
Oh, come on. Shh. Here it is.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm whispering. It's Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine in all of its glory. I'm just now seeing this. Sorry.
Zach seems to be a really cool guy. I've met him once. He was very nice.
Crap.
Him and his wife, I've met them both. I just want to see if we're going to get gameplay, like an
It's
actual...
like the springs on the Sonic without a loop. And this one looks damn cool, like no other. You Eggman. It's on the
Okay, I'm gonna watch this later. I don't want to. I don't.
Really nice additional.
I don't think Flipping Out would get upset that I'm streaming their content, but you know.
Displays environment. It's on channel integration. There now. Order yours and we'll.
So it looks like they decided, hey, let's give a distributor the first look, kind of a thing. But like, dude, people want to see a game of this, right? And they could get a top-down view, just like, you know, here. I'll show you on my stream, right? Whoops. They could do this for Sonic. They could do this for all the different games. They could actually have a top-down view just like this. And, you know, I know that Stern does that after they'll do a live stream, but like X-Men, when they did a live stream of that, everybody wasn't playing good. And we had, they were all like good players. It was a lot of like good players, but I will admit that X-Men takes some time to understand how to control the ball. I actually kind of hated X-Men at first because I was like, dude, the game lasts like 45 seconds and then it's over. But I learned how to control the ball. So what I would do, what I would tell Stern, Jersey Jack, Barrels of Fun, Spooky, all of these things, one of the things they could do when it comes to releasing a new game is have some pre-recorded content showing off an actual game. And like that allows them to have a little bit more control over the narrative instead of live streaming. Now, do your live stream also. I think that's a good idea. But like do this. This is not hard to do compared to making, you know, a trailer. A trailer is a lot more work in my mind because it's a lot of editing, where this would just be, you know, hey, record somebody the whole day. Their work day for the day is to just get one solid game recorded, and then we're gonna use that take, right? Like, that's just my 2 cents of what I could see them doing to make it a better experience for everybody, and that could lead to more sales of the game. Because right now all we have, you know, we got a full trailer, which is awesome. Thankful for the trailer, but like, show us like gameplay. That's just my 2 cents on that. They have a little bit in the reveal. You can see the ball moving a bit, right? I want to see like a full-on, you know, a full-on game. All right, it's lunchtime. We're actually 45 minutes or 50 minutes past. So yeah, let's play a few games here as we were talking. I'm gonna take my headphones off here. Found the tables for the tournament at Electric Bat. It's completely random. Oh, you mean when they do a tournament, like all of the games are available, and they just change it up? Just completely random, whatever game shows up, kind of a thing? Is that what you're saying? Whew, okay. I do have some stuff to get done, but we're gonna play a few games here.
I've seen a future with a sensible butt. I don't want to see another.
That's hilarious that the skill shot was still available. Man, I gotta fix my hair. Hold on. Wearing the thing. Okay. All 65 are available and a program assigns you a game. Jeff definitely hits your confidence a little. Man, that is the thing about tournaments. Like, I'm gonna be playing at District 82. If you don't know what that is, it's a place in Wisconsin that has like 150 pinball machines. And there are gonna be a lot of machines that do, like, I've never played, and I'm trying to do as much research as I can, but it also comes down to, like, you've never played it yourself, so you might not fully know what to even do in that machine. Because, I mean, yeah, 150 machines, like, or even 60, whatever, 65, like, yeah, you might get thrown on a machine that you've never played before and you don't know what to do. Wow, I'm trusting the center post way too much right now. I'm also realizing I need to clean this playfield. My plunges sometimes are not making it all the way around. Here we go. I don't remember. Oh yeah, I did start that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nope. 4, 5. No. No, I didn't want to start the multi-ball yet. Never played anything modern from Stern, so it's gonna be a struggle. Ooh, dude. Start the mode before you start the multi-ball is all I'll say. Don't do what I just did. Oh no, wait, I did start the mode, but I had the mode almost beat. I wanted to save that multi-ball for the next mode. Another thing I'll say is on match play, CPT, you can look up the game that you're playing, and there is a section for like tips, and you are legally in IFPA rules allowed to look that up. So don't sleep on that. They have a bank system during the finals for gathering pins, so you're prepared for that. Don't let the ball get past the flipper and you'll win. That's really good advice, DJM. Really good advice. Center post for the win. It's also a matter of like endurance, you know? Well, I guess maybe not at the bat, because the bat it's usually like 6 games that you play, maybe 7. But if you're playing like District 82, like a 4-day tournament, a lot of it is also just like mental like strength of like playing that many games, you know?
10, 9, 8, solid shot.
Get out of there. Nice, dude, that was sweet. Look up on YouTube videos. Yeah, there's a lot on. If you want, if they have a Foo Fighters, I did make a complete guide to Foo Fighters. Also, Flippin' Out. Joel from Flippin' Out makes a really good. He makes a lot of really good tutorial videos, but I make like. He makes like more of a beginner, like, hey, this is what you do just to understand things. The videos I make are like 45 minutes long, deep dive, walking through everything in the game. And it has actually helped. I've had some people reach out to me and be like, hey dude, your videos have definitely helped me get better at Foo Fighters, so.
That's how it's done.
And, you know, watch my streams. Shameless plug.
Now that's how to make an exit.
I'm gonna make a walkthrough on this too. What I would love to do is make a walkthrough, like Bowen Yang, I think is his name. Or no, not Bowen Yang. That's a comedian. What am I saying? Ah, I had one shot left. That sucks. I forget his name, but he's an incredible pinball player, and he'll walk through the entire game, and it'll be with the glass on. See, the videos I make are with the glass off. Kimbo said, crazy how Mortal Kombat pinball was never done considering the ties to Steve Ritchie and pinball. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, DJM, see you later. Yeah, everybody watching, I'm not on for the next 3 days because I will be on a work trip to Florida. Oh, you're making a homebrew Mortal Kombat. That's awesome. Keep us informed, Kimbo. Sorry I didn't see that in the chat. Oh boy. Bomber. You're hoping to get a 90s pin. Yeah.
Critical systems failure.
For your tournament. Yeah, 90s pins definitely have a lot less to learn. All right, one more game. 3 games later. You're building the playfield in visual pinball. That's a good place to start. Very good place to start. Oh boy, that was rough. Nope. Ah. All right, this will be my last game because I gotta go feed my dogs. Unless if I get summoned. Whoa, that was cool. There we go, that's the shot we wanted. And then that. And then that. And... Oh, no, I should have flipped with the right flipper. Dang it.
No.
Okay. 2 more balls, everybody. This was a good stream. We got to talk about Sonic for a while. I'm excited about Sonic. I think it's going to be good. It looks good. Okay, we're at 20%, which means I think 1 more hit, maybe 2. We want to start in a mode, but that one's almost done, so I'm actually going to play this one so that I can start the multi-ball. There it is. I'm gonna let that one go. Because we got a ball save. Now we don't, so I don't have that one saved. Oh no, come on. There it is. We beat it. Ah! I did not do that on purpose. Ah! Recall command acknowledged. Uh-oh. There we go. Whew. Okay, let's beat this one. One more shot. Nope. Oh, come on. I'm gonna post pass over. Boom! And Gambit, so 2x. So that was 25 million instead of 12 and a half. And that's where having Gambit with a 3x is nice. You know, it's worth even more. Four. Five. Oh! Alright, we got time. Woo! Doggy! Alright, 2 down. Sentinel attack is good for points, but it's actually pretty dangerous because that happens. All right, let's see if we get summoned. Usually, if I say let's see if we get summoned, we don't get summoned. We usually only get summoned when we're not paying attention to being summoned. No summon. All right, I gotta go feed my dogs. Sonic looks awesome. You guys are great. Guys, we're trying to hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. I think we're at like 920. So if you haven't hit that follow button, please do. Also over on Amazon, on Twitch, you can use your Amazon Prime account to sub for free, and that gives $2.50 to me to be able to help fund this hobby and keep bringing you guys the goodness. All right. Thank you for hanging out. YouTube, it's lunchtime somewhere. I will be on again on Monday next week. So this is the last stream for the week because I'll be in Florida. Thanks for hanging out.